drops that we've seen recently, where now drops are much more important, much more crucial to have. And so we see much more teams trying to push for it. And I think that's why they decided to grab the level 3 armor, level 3 helmet, and just run straight out of there to not risk having another team push there slightly later.
Gotta say, I love that guy's name as well. Magical Farts. You guess normally it's creative to like team names in like League of Legends or the other games that we do, but here it's all about the actual player names themselves as well. Well, let's say that there's some interesting names in here as well, but for now we'll wait until they stand up because one team's called Pro Players, by the way. They're currently sat in sixth, and so I think we can logically conclude that they are not pro players.
I think there's a thing with PUBG as well, is just the fact that you're not able to change your name on the go as you are able to in Steam, for
Yes.
example. And so you have players who thought, oh, this PUBG game that just came out, I'm never going to play it again. I'm going to call myself Magical Farts. And now you're playing on a NUEL stream, and unfortunately, that name stuck with you.
Can't get away from it. Team 14 have got themselves just on the edge of the zone as well. Quite ideal since blue itself. They can just take time in here. It was looted earlier on by another team, but at least in this case, they know they're relatively safe. Chances of someone else pushing out here relatively low unless you're looking to Team 10 potentially behind them and try and make their way in. You'd expect them to make their way in from Auto Nervo, though, down the main road here, maybe towards Chumacera at the bottom, rather than trying to push further towards the north side of the circle.
So interesting thing that we're seeing right here, actually, on the side of Los Leones. We've been talking a lot about this Team 11, how they were going to decide to take a hold on Los Leones, and it looks like they've split so far away that they actually might be leaving Los Leones to center themselves more into the zone, to take one of these buildings that is closer. Perhaps one of these little compounds on a hill. These level 3 buildings that I like to call them, that are just great for cover, great for moving around, great for splitting your team. And Team 11 are just so split that I think right now would be the best time for them to kind of group up and start playing as a 4-man squad.
I've got some concerns because, like you said, there Niels is on his own as well, heading off towards the northwest, while they've got another player pushing down south, which is straight towards Team 1, who they themselves are moving in towards the zone. Team 1 actually has spent the whole game so far completely outside of the circle. They started off, if you remember, in Los Leones. In fact, in Parla, then came across Los Leones, then went down to where they are now at the south end of your screen. They're just taking things very, very slow. Feel no need to get involved in the engagements that might take place earlier on. You can see them trying to move in now, but again, that single member from Team 11, he needs to be very careful here. And equally, Team 1 needs to be careful not to get caught out by him as they try and make their way in.
Hey, he can be very sneaky and just cause a lot of damage in terms of catching these players driving through, not expecting a single player to be holding in these houses. Now, you're also speaking about one player being separate from the other team, and we see a lot of professional teams have one player that they call a scout, and kind of get him on a motorbike and send him away just to kind of see which compounds are taken, see which hills are taken. What do you think of this kind of sacrifice one player almost to get info for the rest of the team?
It really helps rather than you committing every single member to go and check out a compound or see if something's going on, because before you know it, you've drove yourself into a pincer trap and you're dead. And although going down to 3 members isn't super ideal, it's better than losing the whole squad at once. Like you say, with the whole vehicle thing, it's exactly the same with scouting. Keys is taking a few pot shots towards 25 as well, not getting anyone down, not really doing any damage either, it seemed. But at least now that means everyone's aware of where everyone is. Team 14, Team 25 now begins the face-off that I think we've been looking for most of the game.
Now is the time. Players have their gear, they're done looting, they can start taking their positions, watching the angles, and just waiting for these cars to drive by, try kill some players off, and wait for these other teams to push into them as they're holding the advantages compounds or buildings, and just simply make a carnage at this point.
Yeah, it's actually just like Team 1 to manage to sneak across to the west, completely avoid the south end of the circle. And that scout who was further down south, Team 11, has now rejoined them. So maybe he was on the lookout trying to see if there were any late entrants, but completely missed Team 1 by the looks of it, as they didn't have a vehicle. They've basically walked the entirety of the way so far, partly for good reason, you might say. I'm looking out to Team 10 on the west again. I thought they were pushing a lot sooner from more over, but haven't bothered so far. They're literally just sticking to the edge of the circle as well. So some employing that strategy you spoke about that pro teams tend to use, where they do take things a bit slower. There's no big rush to get into a main central city and start going for fights there. If you can survive, sometimes just playing for placement is the wise thing to do if you know you're coming up against people who are very, very good with their shots.
I think it's an advantage to tournament games that you don't have in matchmaking PUBG, is the slowness of the zone almost, that allows players to have these fights even at the edge of the zone. Because the zone is so slow, they can slowly progressively move between these dips and these hills and make these team fights as they're moving along. So I think players are kind of not abusing it, because I think it's the correct timings that are involved, but using this side of the zone to slowly push up, because they are almost certain that there will be nobody behind them pushing in and flanking them.
So as it stands so far, a couple of teams now getting a bit closer as well. We've seen some in kind of neighboring compounds, but of course, all the buildings in the way, it does block things out. Team 17 now, they're kind of encroaching on Team 8. And it looks like Team 8 might be slightly aware they're around here, but as it stands, not pushing up the hill too far. The worst thing could be here where they get collapsed on, but from behind by Team 8, and already some shots going across. Ukulele being dropped down to about 40%, down to 15 or so. Now there he goes. Team 8 have found him, and instantly Mobster is like, nope, I want no more part of being this close. Let's get the flank on here and see what else we can find. But Ukulele's gone down, so that's one member taken out by this team who've got the high ground in the compound here. Team 8, they're kind of the overseers at the minute, and Team 17 are basically playing right into their hands.
The thing with Miramar is you have all these different positions where you can be so high up and look so far down that it will be so hard for other teams to kind of push up to you, climb up these hills. As we see, for example, Mob here, who's kind of just camping almost, or just hiding in the lower side of the cliff and just hoping for them not to know. And I think he's trying to sneak behind them to surprise them and try to get a kill or two of these players, sort of not expecting him this close.
He keeps on getting hit, mind you. He's down to about half his health now as well. So definitely taking a big risk by just literally running across in open ground. I'm surprised, really. It's only someone actually able to take shots at him right now. Almost down him with that last shot as well. He's down to literally blinking HP, about 5% remaining. Very lucky to get away with that one. A couple more shots could have landed. That would have been the end of the second member of Team 17.
I think this comes back to the whole thing we were talking about at the start, where you have some teams who decide to spend more time looting, and they might have that extra ×6, extra ×8 that allows them to take these longer fights. So maybe Team 17 don't have this equipment, and so they're kind of forced to escape and make a play almost flanking to the side or finding another compound to hold into, because they simply don't have these scopes to fight Team 8, who have ×6s and ×4s to play these long range fights.
You saw Team 10 for a second there as well, playing just inside the zone, inside the mountains. We thought they'd go towards the south side, but instead of pushing more towards the north/northwest. On the other side of things, though, a couple of pot shots being exchanged between teams, but nothing really scary. It seems like everyone's kind of got their little compound or their buildings inside the zone that they're happy with and don't really want to move too far out of it into open cover, because, again, Miramar, a very, very open map. You find yourself running across open ground, suddenly the shots start raining in. You're going to struggle to find cover to stay away from that. One, if you're not too sure where the shots are coming from, and three, if you are quite literally in the open.
I think we just saw the phase 4 circle come in now, so it looks like a lot of these teams are going to have to make a move here. Now, Team 10, they settled at an amazing position on top of this hill. Unfortunately, now they almost have to traverse the whole zone to make it to out of the blue. So it's kind of this risk that you take, right? Setting up in a position that you then have to move out of and put yourself in a dangerous position moving out of.
And there's a very watchful Team 14 who are kind of guarding this side of the circle almost as well. Team 10, 17, and 8 are all completely mild soon. But they've got to push hard south here. You've got Team 14 watching the west. Team 6 have not moved all game long. They are still sat in Picado here, quite happy with the loot that they've got. You can see the 3 times on Fieta here as well. I imagine the others have got some scopes on side to make use of. They just haven't seen any need to move away. All their jobs to do really here is shoot anyone who drives past and hopefully pick off some of those kills to get those extra points on the board. But as always, Team 6 are trying to play for that top standing here. Oh, now, Team 7, this is aggressive.
This team who kind of fled Picado have made this decision to come back in so late into the game. And I believe they actually started this building, so...
Oh boy.
Team 6 heard them, and now there's going to be an interesting encounter to look at here.
Definitely. We'll Team 7 making their way up the stairs by the looks of it as well. But you're absolutely right that Team 6 know exactly where Team 7 are. And Team 7 initially, these are the guys who ran off towards the southwest, got themselves a member picked off, then came back and tried to almost circle around for a bit, but didn't really get into an engagement. That now might change as Team 11 bringing down Snips the Wookiee as well, the guy who got first blood in this game. But Penk here is sitting super tight in this corner. He's just waiting for someone to get anywhere near him so he can get that pick off. And even Fieta as well is on the move from down below. Team 7 are at serious risk of getting pincered on all sides here as well. Look how close he is. Yoda literally sat right above Fieta here. Walk around that corner and they will be staring down the barrel of each other's guns. The question then, of course, first is who pulls the trigger faster?
They're just playing a game of chicken here. Who loses patience? Who decides to push the stairs? And they're both going to be holding this angle right on the side. And I feel like Yoda almost wants to leave, as he's going to do, because his team is higher up, that he has that refrag potential.
Oh, he's going to make his move now, though, because now he's lost one member. Peng has gone down there as well. They're going to try and close in. down. That's going to be some nice tasty loot for the team to snack on. Again, don't forget Team 6 have had all this time to loot. You can see how close Vieta, again, this time around, just the other side of the wall from Yoda, but he's going to back out cleanly away. I imagine once he lost that member inside the building, he was like, there is no reason for me to be here anymore. Our other members are nowhere nearby. They can't get these shots on. It's not worth the fight. Let's back away and just stay as 3 if we have to. So they lose 1, but they still keep that top fragger in Atomical.
I think it's a shame how Team 6 played this, because I think they're playing some of the players in Red Hotel in Picado, kind of looking over the other 2 members pushing into the building. Unfortunately, they had no vision and lost a player to that, and now they have to back up and leave the control to the building to Team 7.
Team 10 is just trying to make its way in now as well. They've got themselves actually into the zone, and originally these are the team being held out by Team 14. Team 14 have moved slightly further south, it seems, still holding out on that west side. But in fact, I lie. They're pushing up towards Team 10 here. Have actually managed to get themselves into safety. They've got themselves a crate. This could be risky. Ghost Shy is the one who's probably the most exposed right now, just trying to find some pot shots, I think, onto the members who have been advancing down. No doubt he's heard of all this gunfire going on between 17, 10, and the other team. I think it was Team 8 up there with them as well. But, oh, here we go, head-to-head here as well. Gets this spray straight down, though. In fact, does he get the 2 from that? Splodge went down. I was completely confused, and I was like, how on earth did he bring Splodge down as he killed the other guy? It just turned out it was very appropriate timing. Shy not quite getting dropped there, but they are looking for those initial shots. There he goes, brings down Wishful Kit. This is why he's one of the top fraggers. Some super shooting coming out of him there.
So very expensive, very impressive playing with the Time6 scope. It's not a scope that you expect to be spraying close quarters with. I think he just showed us that with good spray control, good practice, you can actually master these scopes and be able to play that long range as well as that close range. Now, Fatal Slug, he's actually going to see these players. He's going to decide not to shoot, wait to have that control, wait till he's certain to have a kill, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to get that kill onto Bucko.
Oh man, just Unity as well here, sat on the other side of this crate. He could potentially play spoiler here and bring down 1 key member, but everyone else has been wiped out. He knows that all his allies are down. He is the last man. Can he get a spray through here as well? Though he's seen one. Needs to get this kill, though. If you can get the kill, this is such a good spot. Doesn't even take the shot, so completely ignored him and ran past. I really expected to take the 1. He's going to run for it, though. Gets Fatal Slug. At least he gets the vengeance. And this is what you often get in your solo queue games playing with your friends. Is sometimes, if you're going to lose, it's fun to just play spoiler and bring down another member of the squad. But now he's getting collapsed on all sides by the remaining 3 members of Team 14. They're out for blood because their ally has been dropped by this guy. They want him down before this circle starts pushing in just a couple of seconds. Literally right outside him here as well, just trying to see if they can get that angle. They're still not sure exactly where he is. Yes, they are. Down he goes.
There we go. It's very dangerous to have a player. You don't know where he is. You're assuming he's alone, and he's behind you. So you kind of have to make that movement with the zone, but at the same time, you've got a player behind you who's watching your movement. And so I think that's why they decided to come back, make sure they got the kill, and then make their movement knowing that they're in a safe position with no one behind them to flank.
Absolutely. Well, some more trades been going out across in Picado now. Team 6 still not alone. In fact, the numbers have increased. Nothing else. Team 7 is still here. 11 have arrived off from the west-hand side, and Team 2 are off to their southeast right now. So a number of teams starting to push it. You can even see shots going out towards the west from Team 6 as well, as even more teams are starting to arrive. It seems like Team 6 chose the ideal landing place, but it does mean they're right in the thick of it as we come towards these final circles.
Yeah, the danger with choosing the biggest compound right in the middle of the zone is that every single team, or not every single team, but a lot of the teams are going to have this idea as well and be deciding to push in too. And so now you have this huge fight between, I believe it's about 5 or 6 teams right here in the center of Picado.
What I really like actually then as well, we saw Team 1 finally make a name for themselves on getting that shot. And you look up and just see them coming over the hill of the mountain. It's like watching alarm when the Huns come charging down. That's what it feels like now as they're starting to make their entryway in towards Picado. And everyone's like, crap, where are those guys with the snipers who have been looting for the last 20 minutes and we have absolutely no idea where they've been? They're coming in with snipers and you guys better be afraid.
Now, Team 17 also seem to have decided not to push in. They hear all the gunshots. They hear all the madness that's going on in Picado. Saying, ooh, that's a shame for Team 6, but it looks like he's been knocked safely in a building. So if his teammate actually manages to make the move, I think this is an important res that he could get off. Instead of being only 1 man left. Oh, sorry, 2 of them left actually.
Yeah.
Atomical could actually get res quite safely here.
It's like I always say as well, I keep on droning on about it, but at the end of the day, it's important that he is one of the top fraggers in the tournament. Having him on side is a huge resource for the team. If he goes down, then Team 6 suddenly start looking like they're going to lose out on that advantage. And again, it's coming back to bite them a bit. In fact, oh wow, Team 1 get completely slaughtered as well. Losing, I think, 2 members at least initially there as well. Maybe they got 1 or 2 left. And I guess is the problem when the 6 teams sat in Picado on the low ground here, everybody is going to see you running into the zone as you come down that hillside.
That's the risk of coming in late. It's one of these situations where you cannot predict the zone. So I think you have to make a judgment call on how you want to play the situation out. And
Oh,
oof, now that's 2 players left for Team 1, I believe. And unfortunately, they're both behind the same piece of cover. And about every single team in Picado knows they're behind that piece of cover. So I'm afraid they probably will not make out of this alive.
another one just went down as well, literally getting peppered. Look at him laid out. I can't even get up as well to res his teammate. Going to try and see what he can do. In fact, I lie. He's going to abandon him completely and go for a run. One more shot. Down he goes. Team 1 are eliminated on their entry. And after such a solid start as well, because those initial sniper shots they got off, they brought down a couple of members. But suddenly every single team was aware they were there. And well, the end result speaks for itself.
I think in a tournament situation like this, where point placements are also so important, I almost would have suggested that that player stays behind the rock and just heals up through the zone damage as it comes in, and hopes that maybe 1 or 2 other teams are forced into team fights and actually don't make it out alive to gain 1 or 2 placements on the scoreboard to gain all these points to place them higher up in the leaderboards.
Well, it's Team 25 making moves now as well towards the southwest of Picado, making their way in towards the center of the circle. No one yet really spraying it. They're literally running straight in. But finally, Team 6 has spotted them out there. They're taking those opening shots. No one has gone just yet, mind you. And you can see 11 facing off against 7. All the numbers here, 7, 8, 9. Everyone's trying to bring each other down as literally the final circle encloses on Picado. This is where it's going to get scrappy.
I think it's going to be interesting when we start seeing the smaller and smaller zones and see whether it's going to be a North Picado or a South Picado end zone to see which of these teams is going to have to make the move and push onto the buildings into this zone.
Oh, Ghoster gets popped down as well through the holes in the fence. Not really the ideal space to be in, but it has members around him as well. Keys has managed to get himself in things down bridges. They're just trying to grenade Ghoster here to make sure that he goes down and definitely dies, but he's still crawling away. Completely missed by that one, but he's down to about half health. Keezus has gone as well. Crumplifire's even charged in to go for fight, so he's completely abandoning his teammate outside and saying, guys, I'm playing for glory here. I want the kills, but yet to really find anyone.
It's the problem with this big arena building that Team 8 are in, is that it's so easy to get in and slide. Just simply, it's so hard to hold that I would almost suggest them to get at the bottom, get in the corner, and just move into one of the smaller buildings, because when a 4-man team will push into this, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to hold their position on this first floor of the arena.
I love how Crumplifire's literally ignored the whole thing going on. His teammate dying, the team that were fighting him. He's ran through the arena building, gone to the south, and got himself safely in the building. And he has no real reason to move out of there for now, at the very least. So maybe now, like you say, it's a case of playing for position. What really surprised me a second ago was when we were looking at Team 6, they are still sat on 0 kills. This is the team, again, that have held Picado. They've got some of the highest fraggers in the tournament on their team. They have yet to net a single kill. They've lost one member. Atomical was down and got back up again. They haven't killed anyone. That's very unlike this team.
This is dangerous because as the zone pops, we saw none of the teams were actually in this new circle. So every single team has to make the movement in, and which is why we saw as soon as it popped, I think it was Team 11 and Team 6 both made the decision at the same time to just say, okay, we're going to run in and get the placement before the other teams, because we're not sure if there's anybody there, but we might as well just go, get the fight, win that fight, and then hold position of one of the very, very few buildings that are actually in this new circle.
Yeah, look at Team 8 as well on the north side of the circle. Team 2 on the south. They are all starting to assume the position. That grenade's going to go in there. Will it find him? No, it won't. Neil's just about crawling up the stairs there. He's being rained on by grenades as well, but has yet to go down. Omnitoaster should be able to res him here unless there's any crazy players coming in, but they do have Epoch standing off to the side, standing guard, watching up any members. He surely is each other there. There we go. Atomical gets sprayed down, but doesn't drop. Down to 26 HP. So something does drop, but it's definitely not himself. Almost finding another one as well. Epoch being that standing guard, that bulldog that you want on the door whenever someone comes to visit who you do not want to be in the building. They get themselves back up again. Like you say, Team 11 are the ones who are currently in the zone as well. Oh my God, Atomical gets blindsided as well. Team 7 wipe out Team 6 by the looks of it. Or is there one member left? I think everyone's gone though.
I think that's it.
Gone.
Oh, it seems that Fieta was finished. There's one more left somewhere. I can't really find where he is.
Me neither. I can't see him. Maybe he's just buried in a mass of bodies right now, which is why you have no idea where he is.
I think at this stage you're alone, just crouch in a corner. Oh, he's there at the top of that building. Angelica.
There you go. Oh my God, Team 7 get completely gutted down as well. 25 come up and okay, the trade kills back and forth. Not really the end of the world for either side. 11 though, they're just kind of like, well, this is pretty chill. We'll just sit here and watch the doors and make sure no one comes bursting in, but we have no interest in getting involved in these fights going on outside. So Angelica taking the smart call there for Team 6, playing for position, like you said.
And this last member for Team 14 as well, as I was saying earlier, he's decided to just wait for the zone, wait for everybody to fight, and hopefully he can gain 1 or 2 placement points from just holding out, running into the last minute, following the zone into this kind of half open field, half gas station kind of new circle that we have here.
And there you go. Angelica does go down. So, okay, it won't be necessarily a top end finish for him, but does finish in 5th. It's Team 6, so not going to be the end of the world for them. Now 4 teams left. A single member from Team 14 getting shot at. Down he goes. 3 teams remaining and 11. Well, he popped this round as well. Only up to 3 kills as a team, so maybe we want to try and clinch a few more moments of this round. Teammate are currently the only team inside this final circle. They have the only building inside the zone as well. Team 2 and Team 11 are either going to have to duke it out here real quick, or they're going to have to go for some kind of crazy push. Teammate, though, they're watching towards the northwest, making sure no one else is following them in.
Team 2 do have an advantage here. Well, they have 2 advantages. First of all, they're a 4-man team, which against this 2-player team that is Team 8, as they're coming into the zone, it should be an easier fight for them. And they also have this slightly higher ground that they can take, where they're watching down over all this open field in this new circle. But that also means that they're under fire from Team 11 and Team 8, who are both focused on getting Team 2 out of the game right now.
I feel like Team 2, if they're going to do anything else, need to run west back in towards the buildings and then try and run north from there. Because right now, playing through open field, you're making it so easy to get picked up, although they are trading shots back and forth. Niels, in fact, 11, the savior of Team 2 right now. They come from behind and bring down somewhat. Just Lumina remaining, although they're taking kills as well. Secret Lucan goes down. Epop picks up his 2nd kill of the game as well. This is looking very good for Team 11 right now.
I think Team 2 are really in a difficult position now because Team 8 are out of the way. Well, there is 1 player left, but they're not so worried about him, and they're just focusing all their energy onto Team 2, taking them down 1 by 1. Now there's 1 left. I don't think they can see him. He's right underneath a little cliff, and I think he might just have to lay down there and wait until hopefully this player from Team 8 gets 1 or 2 down from Team 11 and makes this a possible win for him.
Well, they must know there is 1 member left here, but like you say, he's just in front. He's just inside the zone. I think he's just tucked inside the zone as well, so he can met up at least a little bit there. In fact, it seems it's not just Team 2 have got that strategy. Teammate as well, Lumina, is literally doing the same thing here. Both of them just lying down, playing chilled out, not trying to go for any crazy plays right now. So I think by the looks of it, Team 2, staying true to their team number, might find themselves in 2nd unless Lumina manages to find a pick-off.
It seems like Lumina, at this point, he's just saying, I don't want to make any noise. I don't want them to know I'm here. But it looks like they do know he's there, and they are going to be throwing all these nades to this building. He's just running past nades. Oh, he's jumping out. That's a very good decision by him because he knows that they know he's inside. So go outside, take advantage angle, and unfortunately, it's not going to work out for him. Niels is going to take him down, but that leaves a 1-on-3 situation for Team 2, and I think this is tough.
They've got to know, or surely based on the fact of how they're down members, they must know that Team 2 is the final remaining member here. And maybe there's some expectation that he's managed to sweep across to the west-hand side, or maybe they know that he's still in this area, but you can see them kind of spreading out, just searching behind all the walls they can, seeing what they can find. Maybe for Zachary here, getting out some smokes, I think, by the looks of it. That's going to give his away his position completely, though. He's got it anywhere near. Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
that's it then.
an honorable death, we'll take that one. Okay. I don't know why you don't try and go for kill. Maybe you just didn't want to give away the kills to them, so they got more points off the back of it. But it's Team 11 who walk away victorious in week 3, game 2, of course, because we are catching up a little bit on last week as well. A pretty solid play by the boys from, I believe these are the guys from Kill Legends once again. And it seems like Swansea Storm Red, who have had such strong performances previously, no kills on the board, finished in 6th place. They finish even lower now than Kill Legends, where previously they were only behind about 360 points. That's going to slip to about 500 points now. So Kill Legends pulling further and further into the lead, I suppose you could say.
Now, you were talking about Niels earlier before the game started, the importance that he is to this Kill Legends team. And I think we were saying that he didn't really have many kills, but at the same time, he's a very, very strong team captain where he manages to make the right calls for his team. And I think that this game, we actually saw him coming out on the kills as well, which just puts Kill Legends as such an advantageous position on this first place in the leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget as well that Niels used to play on a pro team. He used to play on Team 1 in Europe, actually, back earlier this year. I believe he played at one of the PGI tournaments as well. And what more can you say? The guy's consistently finishing top, although he's not always the top fragger in the game, doing the work that the team need for you to close things out. So solid play from him. And as said, that's just game 1 as well. We have we have 3 more games playing tonight. We're bringing 2 more of them to you on this stream. So we'll go to a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be bringing you game 2 of tonight's night of PUBG action.